Sunday on Fox, Saquon and the Giants take on the Lions. Or it's Bears-Falcons. Check your local listings for the game in your area, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Welcome back to the show. Afternoon headlines brought to you by Alka-Seltzer Plus. Amazing fast cold and flu relief. We're going back to Buffalo, where fans and the teams are falling down the table. Bills now in third place in the AFC after Josh Allen's 3-turnover game. Here's Josh postgame.
Number 3 right there.
Losing sucks. Sucks this way even worse. Horrendous second half. I gotta be better. We gotta be better.
Is Josh Allen the problem?
Well, it certainly has been last few weeks, and that can't happen when he's supposed to be the league MVP and QB1 and the most talented guy in the league, and the reason the Bills are going to stop being the Bills and actually be a team that can win Super Bowls and all these things. And so I'm going to give you the information that's inarguable, and then I'm going to pull on some heartstrings. That's how I'm going to try to attack this.
Stay tuned for the
Here's the inarguable information. In yesterday's game, he cost them the game. Through 3 quarters, while they were building a 17-point lead, he was quite good. And then in the fourth quarter, he had 3 turnovers that any of which, if he doesn't have, they win the game. As the last one, they at least tie the game, if not win it. And that is, of course, part of a trend. The trend is he turns the ball over more than any quarterback in football. Interceptions. He has the most in football over one guy that will be benched and another guy that has been benched. Interceptions plus fumbles. He is also on that top 3 along with a rookie who Justin Fields has an absurd amount of fumbles, but he makes up for it by rushing for 150 yards a game. And once again, Matt Ryan, who's been benched. What about at the most critical times? The red zone. Okay, he has more than double anybody else. No one else has 5. No one else has 4. He, of course, has 6, which is why his play week to week is like a bad stock, or as I have called it, a roller coaster. And now we have updated the graphic. But that's the data, and that is inarguable. Here is, though, where I can prove to you by your reaction to this point that none of you actually think he's as good as everyone has pretended he is. The ball on the goal line where you need to be able to run one play and the game's over. You know what you do there? If you really think a quarterback sneak might result in that, if you actually have an MVP at quarterback, put him in shotgun, spread the guys out, and throw 1 yard to one guy. And then the game's over. And tell him, hey man, we trust you. If they're sitting in a 0 blitz, throw it away. We still then can go do the quarterback sneak. Run around. It's a million things that we can do if we trust our quarterback. But they don't. And all of you watching it afterwards had this conversation with yourself. Should they have just taken a safety? Because you knew it was on the board that Josh Allen would do something awful. And so I don't know what more to say other than who could have seen this coming. Wait, who's that there? Oh, that's me. All right. I could have seen it coming. So, yeah, they've got a bit of a problem, James Jones.
This is a Josh Allen problem, and this is a coaching problem.
Okay.
Coaching?
And the reason why I say that, right? So let's just talk through this game a little bit, right? You're up 10, 4th down, and you go for his 5th interception in the red zone. Kick the field goal and go up 13 and take the ball out of his hands.
People might be confused. That was his first turnover.
That was his first turnover in the red zone.
There's so many you gotta
get lost.
Right? So if you kick the field goal, you take the ball out of his hands, limit the mistakes, and you go up 13, right? Then you're in the red zone. It's a crucial time in the game. You're trying to press, and you throw 21 right outside the red zone, and you throw another interception. Let's try running the football a little bit on those drives to take the ball out of his hands. And the reason why I say a coaching problem is, yes, Josh Allen is a special quarterback in the National Football League, but they're asking him to do a lot and do too much. And yes, it paid off early in the season, and he was playing at a high level. But his last 3 games, you have 6 interceptions, and your team has lost 2 of those ball games.
0
so
second half
coach,
touchdowns.
when are you going to say, hey, let's run the ball a little bit more, even if it's some design runs with Josh Allen, right? But let's run it a little bit more to limit some of his passes because he's really not making smart decisions with the football right now. You have to be honest. So it's not all on Josh Allen. Yes, he's the one throwing it. He has to make better decisions, but coaches can help him with the play calling. And it starts with kicking a field goal, going up 13, and not throwing a pick.
Words of wisdom, James Jones. Like, I object to the question.
Okay.
The way it's worked. You can say, does Josh Allen have a problem? Because he is reckless. I'll give you that, Nick. But do the Bills have a Josh Allen problem? We would not be talking about the Bills a fraction of the amount of time we talk about it if it weren't for Josh Allen. Here's the proof. Now, obviously, he's their leading passer. He's their leading rusher. He's got 24 of their 28 touchdowns. 20 of them, I think 20 passing, and 4 of them rushing. More rushing touchdowns than anybody else. But hold on. He's the only player, to James's point, he's the only player in the NFL accounting for at least 80% of his team's touchdowns. He is doing too much. And I say this, James, and you played 1 year with this guy. I think he's like a new age version of Brett Favre. You got to live. The greatness is there, but you got to live with some. Well, Brett Favre's a freaking Hall of Famer. What you mean it's not a compliment? Won a Super Bowl, won 3 MVPs. I don't know if Josh will win 3 MVPs. But the recklessness.
Let's work on making a second.
You just gotta live with. But hold on. I think this is and not only, look, statistically, over 17 games, we increased Favre's over 17 games. Over the 3 MVP seasons for Favre, 40 touchdowns, 15 interceptions were his average. Josh Allen, last 3 years, including projections for this year, 38 and 14.
That's a good point, really quick. That's a good point because playing with Brett Favre, right? We used to have run plays in, but it was always an alert to a little quick slant on the backside or a little smoke route on the backside, right? And Brett would throw that quick slant and smoke in double coverage. It didn't matter. So Coach Mike had to come in and say, these are run it runs. There ain't no audible in the backside. Ain't no hand the ball off when we call these plays. Helping Brett Favre because he knows he's a gunslinger. He knows that he will take those chances. Get the ball out of the young fella's hands.
For clutch play.
Yeah.
And the Buffalo Bills
threw a lot of interceptions in the clutch, too.
Yeah, of course. But he also had some great moments. And the Buffalo Bills in the last 2 years have played 12 one-score games. They are 2-10.
One of those 2 was against who?
What?
One of those 2 was in Arrowhead.
Yes,
right?
in the regular season. I don't brew.
It doesn't count.
No,
gotta help him.
Here's the thing.
Josh.
It does count. And it counts in, if you remember after that game, when I gave my prepared statement, Wild.
Yeah.
And then I said at the end, this is the exact script from last year, up to and including Allen leaping over a Chiefs player. What did the Bills, the 4-time defending AFC champ, 2-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time MVP having quarterback? They have none of those, but the media likes to pretend. What did they do after they beat the Chiefs last year? They lost 5 of 7. And Allen started tripping over himself, fell down against the Titans and at the 1-yard line. And it was like, wow, they should be better than that. And they beat the Chiefs this year. It was their Super Bowl, hang the banner, and now all of a sudden.
I'm surprised you didn't have a banner.
And now
you keep banking on this, Nick. And maybe if it comes to pass that they play Kansas City in the playoffs and lose again, then great.
Right now, they would be thrilled to be able to play Kansas City in the playoffs and lose again. Because right now, it's not a certainty they are in the playoffs.
Oh, stop.
James, quickly, we talked about
they're the 6th seed.
Falling down against the Titans and all these red zone mistakes and the one, like the mishandled handoff, whether you want to say it's his fault, the center's fault. The way that we talk about Tom Brady rising to another level when the game is tight. The flip side of that coin is that some guys don't.
They don't.
Do you think Josh Allen is one of those guys?
I think Josh Allen is one of those guys who press too much in that moment, right?
Okay.
Trying to make the big splash play every time. Tom Brady will take what's there all day, every day, and go down the field on you. Right. He's trying to make the big explosive play every time, and that's biting him right now.
Got you.
Especially
you know who doesn't
in the
do
red
that?
zone.
Tom Brady or Jimmy G for that matter. Exactly what we're talking about.
That's why I'm saying, Coach, help him out.
Of the 5 worst plays a quarterback's made in the league all year, he made 2 of them yesterday.
Boom, Mac Jones out of there.
He made 2 of them yesterday.
Hey, we're talking about Justin Jefferson's catch.
Oh.
Pretty good. I'll be honest with you. Some people are saying this is the best catch of all time. One of them sitting to my right. I think it's a little much, but go ahead, Nick.
Oh, listen, I think that you have to recognize that anything that happens in the playoffs is going to be
take
on
it
a
out.
different level. Anything that happens in the Super Bowl is on an entirely different level.
Right.
So I think Tyree and Edelman are in a special category because they were impossible catches that led to their teams, directly led to them winning the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Lynn Swan.
But so, yeah, sure. But in the regular season, given the fact that this was on 4th and 18, they came back to win. I think the degree of difficulty is one touch below Odell's.
Really?
And the impressiveness is right below Odell's. But the importance of the moment is so much higher and greater that to me it is the best catch given the circumstances in the regular season, James, that I've ever seen.
Well, and I agree with you, right? Because number one, you have to start off with the situation.
Sure.
4th and 18 is telling you that everybody's back, protecting them sticks, protecting that deep ball for 4th and 18. And then two, to have the strength when
Right.
another guy
Right.
has two hands on the ball
Right.
and you have
That
one
was
hand on the ball.
unbelievable.
OBJ is reaching back, but it's just him.
Right.
It ain't nobody on his wrist. It ain't nobody. To have the strength and then to fall and still control this ball
I'm gonna
and
be there.
catch this
Let Wilds
ball.
play Debbie
This
Downer
is
here.
I'm not gonna
absolutely
play Debbie
ridiculous.
Downer.
And I've had some one-hand catches in my day, but with this right here, with somebody on your back with two hands on the ball, and you have one hand,
Okay, so here's
and
the thing.
you still pulling that thing in, that is a special catch,
was
knowing
unbelievable.
that they got to throw that ball beyond that sticks.
James, you said it. Two hands on the ball. And I saw this tweet from Ben Baldwin, and we can put it up. Obviously, this is an incredible catch, but what on earth is the DB, Cam Lewis, doing here? Why are you trying to catch the ball? It's 4th down. Just take a swing and bat the ball down. And I heard a lot of takes on this catch,
I understand that.
but this feels like a defensive mistake, James. Are you buying that?
I understand that, right? Bat the ball down, right? He's trying to get an interception, bat the ball down, but it doesn't take away from
yeah, it
the
does.
play.
It's a mistake.
Let me
And
ask
Justin
you, James,
Jefferson going
did
up
he
and
help,
making that play.
Did he help Jefferson keep control of that
Yes, he
ball?
caught it for
That's
him.
the thing. You know what I mean? Like,
So
it
with
looks
one
like
hand-
he did. Because
so-
how in the world?
so
I was
let me-
thinking,
Caught
how do
it
you
for him and
control
gave
that?
it to him.
Let me break something down. So when you catch this ball one hand, you see how it's no wobble right there on that ball? Justin Jefferson was able to catch that thing clean with one hand and really control it. Yes, but
he
he
was
was
helping
on the
him,
back,
yes,
right?
the
Because
defender.
he was trying to rip that ball away, but Justin Jefferson had this ball already secured with one hand right there to make that play as he's going to
It's
the
better
ground.
every time
So
I
you
see
could
it.
try to bat it down if you want, but he caught that ball clean and was about to rip that ball away.
Bat the ball down.
By the
It was
way,
incredible.
there was a
Easier said than
there was
done.
a catch.
Let me say it this way, Nick, because I was debating who's more. If I had one catch that I could tell somebody I made, it would be the OBJ one.
What that you
It
made?
looked better. That was
Wait.
more spectacular.
You know
looked
what,
better.
Brew? If you had made either catch, I think you'd get
No,
all
I'm
the
just
credit.
saying, like, I'm putting myself.